I knew something was wrong the moment my wife wouldn't look me in the eye. It was a tiny hesitation, barely half a second, but when you've been married for 9 years, you feel it like a crack running down glass. We were standing outside the entrance of her company's annual office party, the muffled bass thudding from inside, and she kept smoothing her dress like she wanted to disappear into it. "Remember," she said softly, eyes fixed somewhere over my shoulder, "just act like a friend tonight. Nothing more. Act like a friend." Echoed. "Emily, I'm your husband." She let out a short, breathy laugh. I know. It's just, everyone's bringing plus ones and people gossip here. I don't want them thinking I rely too much on you. My boss likes independence." Her excuse didn't make sense. But before I could ask anything else, she grabbed my hand, squeezed it once, too quickly, and pulled me inside. The moment the doors opened, I felt it. A tension I wasn't supposed to notice. Heads turning. Eyes flicking toward her, toward me, then away just as fast. Conversations pausing for half a beat. Something was off. Emily guided us to the main hall where clusters of co-workers mingled around tall tables lit with soft gold lamps. The room buzzed with forced laughter and polite networking chatter. She introduced me to a couple of people, each interaction quick and stiff, like she was checking boxes. Then her demeanor changed entirely. Her shoulders straightened, her voice brightened artificially, and she tossed her hair back as if preparing for a camera flash. Her boss approached. He was older, mid-50s maybe, with gray patches at his temples and a smile that didn't reach his eyes. Tall, polished, the kind of man who makes a room react when he steps into it. His suit alone probably cost more than my monthly salary. "Emily," he greeted in a tone too familiar for my liking, "you look stunning tonight." She flushed, actually flushed, and dropped her gaze in a way I had never seen before. Not with me. Not even when we were newly dating. My stomach tightened. "And you must be the husband?" he asked, turning to me with a handshake that felt like a test. "Daniel," I replied. He nodded slowly, studying me in a way that felt intrusive. "Ah, good to finally meet you." Finally. The word rattled around in my head. Emily shot him a warning glance. He ignored it. His hand lingered too long on her arm before he walked away. When we were alone, I whispered, "Why did he say finally? What does that mean?" She forced a smile. "He's awkward with small talk. Don't read into it." But I was already reading into everything. For the next hour, she drifted in and out of conversations, always staying near him, always making sure to position herself just slightly angled toward him. The distance between them was never more than a few steps. Every time I approached, she would widen her eyes, subtle, barely noticeable, and gesture for me to stay back. "Not now. Later. Don't cling." And each time, the knot in my chest pulled tighter. At one point she whispered to me, "Sit over there, okay? Beside Mr. Lawson. Keep him company. He's been alone since his divorce, and if he feels left out, it'll reflect badly on the team." I stared at her. "You want me to sit with your boss? While you what? Mingle? Please," she murmured. There was urgency in her tone, not desperation but something closer to fear. So I did it. I walked over and took a seat beside her lonely boss. The man regarded me with a faint smirk. "She sent you, didn't she?" I tried to keep my voice steady. "She said you might want company." "Company?" he repeated with an amused scoff. "Not from you." The way he said it made my skin crawl. He took a sip of his drink, then leaned slightly toward me. "You seem like a decent guy, Daniel. So I'll give you a small piece of advice." His tone sharpened. "Don't stand in her way." Blinked. "Stand in her way of what?" He just smiled, slow and self-satisfied. "You'll see." I watched Emily all night after that. She never touched him. She never crossed a line physically. But the emotional intimacy, the lingering glances, the quiet laughter they shared off to the side, the way she leaned in when he spoke, it was worse than physical. Because she had been that way with me once. Near the end of the event, people began to leave. Emily seemed anxious, repeatedly checking her phone. When I asked if she was ready to go, she jumped slightly. I just need to wrap something up with Mr. Lawson. Work stuff. You go ahead and wait in the car. Emily, please. I won't be long. I didn't move. Neither did she. Her eyes hardened, only for a second. Daniel. Go. So I went. But I didn't go far. I waited just outside the hallway where she had pulled him. The door didn't fully close. The gap was small but enough for their voices to slip through. What I heard cracked something in me. Emily, he said, his voice low. You're being distant tonight. I had to bring him, she whispered. You know how it would look if I didn't. He suspects. I know, she said, exhaling shakily. I can tell. A long silence. Then his voice again, softer. Are you having second thoughts? No, she said too quickly. I don't want to hurt him. You already have. My throat tightened. Then I heard movement, fabric, a shift of weight, a soft sigh from her that didn't sound like pain. I forced myself to step back. I didn't want to hear more. I didn't want to confirm what was already drowning me. But as I turned to leave, I froze at her next words. Just not yet. Let me find the right time. My legs gave out. She wasn't just betraying me, she was planning to leave me. She came out of the hallway 10 minutes later, wiping her eyes like she'd been crying. When she saw me leaning against the wall instead of sitting in the car, her face drained of color. Daniel, what are you doing here? Who were you planning to leave me for? My voice cracked on the last word. She shook her head rapidly. You don't understand. It wasn't what it looked like. What wasn't? The way he talks to you. The way you blush around him. Or the way you told him you didn't want to hurt me. She flinched. No, she whispered. You weren't supposed to, Daniel, please. I wasn't supposed to know. Tears filled her eyes. It's not what you think. Then tell me, I said, stepping closer. Tell me what I'm misinterpreting. Her mouth opened, then closed. Then she broke. I'm sorry, she whispered, voice trembling. I didn't mean for this to happen. I didn't expect to feel anything for him. I don't even know when it started. How long? She covered her face with both hands. 4 months. My breath left my lungs. 4 months, I repeated, almost laughing. 4 months of lies. She reached for me, but I stepped back. I didn't cheat, she said desperately. Not physically. Promise. I swear to you. But emotionally? Asked, already knowing. She didn't answer. And silence in that moment was the cruelest truth. I walked out of that building alone. She followed me outside, calling my name, but I kept walking. I needed distance. I needed air. I needed anything that wasn't the suffocating ache inside my chest. I reached the end of the parking lot before stopping. The winter wind bit into my skin, grounding me painfully in my own reality. When she finally caught up, she was crying. Real tears, messy, broken. I'm sorry, she said again, breath hitching. I never meant to fall for him. I thought it was harmless. He made me feel noticed, appreciated. And then it went too far, and I didn't know how to pull back. I stared at her. You should have told me. I was afraid, she whispered. Afraid you'd look at me the way you're looking at me now. And how is that? Like you don't know me. I swallowed hard. Because I don't. The truth hung between us, sharp as shattered glass. She reached for my hand. Please, let's go home. We'll talk. We'll fix this. I'll quit my job if I have to. I hesitated. For 9 years she had been my safe place. My partner. My best friend. And now. Do you love him? Yes. Her breath caught. She closed her eyes. I don't know. That was it. The answer that ended us. I didn't yell. I didn't accuse. I didn't cry. Not then, not until later when I was alone in the dark of our living room. I simply nodded. Then go home without me, I said quietly. I need time. She sobbed, reaching for me again, but I stepped back. She finally stopped trying when she realized I meant it. Left. And I stayed in that parking lot long after her car disappeared. When my phone buzzed an hour later, it was a text from her. "I'll do whatever it takes to fix this. Just don't give up on us." I stared at the screen, heart in splinters. Then I turned the phone off. Because sometimes the deepest betrayal isn't a kiss or a touch. It's letting someone else hold the pieces of your heart while you stand there, hoping they drop them gently. Emily didn't. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to pick them up anymore.